I don't think I even know all of the routines of the players. I just know it's exhausting as I've gone through the years. And I said, why do we do? What, are you kidding me? That's why we do that. We have so many things, especially on game day, that that we all drive ourselves crazy with, and there's just a number of them. That I've learned Lindsay really well, and so she has a collection of things that through the years, if she ate something, if we talked in a certain place, if something, she's going to make sure she repeats that. If either the team played well, big win, or she played well, then she's a big believer in that we're going to keep doing those things. So she has collected a number of routines along the way, and you just try to fall in line, to kind of, make sure that, you don't do anything to disrupt that routine. However, I will say, as a coach, I've been somebody that I don't enjoy the routines all the time, because I don't want to hear after the game that we lost because so-and-so didn't eat that sandwich that they, I don't want that leniency on leaning on, those routines to determine whether or not. And I will say the biggest one we had was the darn jump ball. That I don't even know how this came to be. This is Jim Peterson's fault. I can tell you that.
I don't mind blaming Jim.
Yeah, he insisted the analytics of the end of the second quarter, start of the third quarter, and the 2-for-1s and blah blah blah. We were going to gain an extra possession or two, so we kind of went with it, and we started giving up the jump ball. And our record when we gave up the jump ball was a really good one versus our record when we actually got the jump ball. And so that's where that routine came from. And I know it's really hard for fans to understand when they see Sylvia Fowles, who clearly should be winning the jump, and she doesn't jump. And, people I think our fans have just come to go, okay, well, whatever, that's just what we do. Okay, let's move on. Let's chant defense. But there's, as a coach, I certainly have some, I try not to get too caught up in it, but mine center probably more around, my game day routine, game day routine, and perhaps either a suit, a pair of shoes, and it's really more, you give your wardrobe a chance. But there's oftentimes if I introduce something new and it doesn't do very well, it's a goodwill pile, like right away. Or, say we'll save that for a non-game day. And so those things happen, I'd like to say that we don't get too caught up in it, but I will tell you that when we're trying to win championships and you're in game fives, you get really serious about those things. And the most crucial conversation I had was the night before game 5 in 2017, as we embarked on the LA challenge to close out that series. We had gone through the series in 2016. The 2016 series and the 2017 series were identical in that LA won game 1, week 1 game 2, LA won game 3, and we have to hang on in game 4 to bring it back home to game 5. And so 2017 went exactly the same. The games were different, but the series went exactly the same. And so when we got to game 5, I said to myself, what's going to be different? I had family members that wanted to come out and watch us win, hopefully, a 4th championship. The year before, I had said family members come out. And so I told them, if we were in game 5 again, that I'm sorry, they would have to watch it from home. They would not. So I knew I was going to change some things. We could not go into the game exactly the same as the year before. And so we had members of families that had to stay home. I have a brother who's got a terrible record, and I thought, there's no way
he's on the
having
bench.
Larry Reeve.
You benched your brother.
Game. We benched him. His daughter's got a great record, but I just couldn't take any chances. So, and then the most crucial conversation was with my mom the night before in what I was going to wear. I told her I had the shoes, and I had a suit that I wanted to wear. That if you go back and you look from game 5s, I've worn it more than once. It was a suit that was actually from 2008, and the idea that in 2017 that I could still wear it was the real question. I had worn it along the way, and it was a suit that I wore to my dad's funeral services, and so that was my quote lucky suit. Had a lot of wins in it, so. She said, "You got to wear it. You got to wear that suit." And I said, "Mom, hang on a second." I ran upstairs and I put it on. I said, "Oh my God, I can wear it. It fits, And I ran downstairs and I said, "Mom, I'm wearing it." So I think I wore something that didn't even match. I wore, that suit, a shirt that had some wins in it, and shoes that I knew would have some wins in it. And sure enough, we were able to get the W, and that's why we were able to get that championship.
Hence the phrase "dressing for success."
That's exactly right.
Absolutely. One other from Amir: what are some ways the Lynx can improve their 3-point shooting in the offseason via trade?
Well, I don't know whether it's trade or free agency. The simple way to do that is to trade for a player that can shoot threes.
Yeah. I grew up with watching Earl Weaver, the old Orioles coach, manager, great Orioles manager, who was very innovative, much ahead of his time. And, people used to ask him, God, how can you guys improve such and such? He said, you know what? I think I figured it out. I need a better player.
That's exactly right. And whether it's through free agency or trade, I can tell you that it's on our minds. And, we want to make sure we have players on our roster that, we have good roster balance. Not everyone has to be able to have that as a forte, but that certainly is something we've got to do better this coming season.
Check out successfulmarketinggroup.com/Cheryl Reeve to get a free 45-minute audit and action plan with Lori Ramsey, who's a friend of ours. Also, if you order Bite Squad, go to bitesquad.com or the Bite Squad app. Use the promo code TalkNorth to get your first delivery free. We do appreciate it. Let's throw it to Cheryl for a final thought on anything in the world you want to get to.
Anything in the world. Gosh, I think right now today what comes to mind is, let's make sure that we are mindful of the importance of our vote, and let's do what we can for the candidates that we support. We've got a lot going on in the world today, and with obviously with the confirmation of a Supreme Court nominee, I think. And I think of that from a women's perspective. It's not necessarily all about electing women, but it's people that are going to care about women's rights. That's going to care about health care. Is going to care about like a Senator Tina Smith who cares about child care in the state of Minnesota. There's a number of things that I think we need to pay more attention to, because I don't want to march after the election and fight for things. I want to vote, and I want to make sure that we're putting people in office, male or female, that are going to hold themselves to the standards that we expect, and that sexual abuse of women is never okay. And I'm convinced that Kavanaugh has gotten away with this. This was not, this was really unfortunate. The due process and the investigation, all that was just a mess. I think really unfortunate for for just drudging up so much for many, many survivors of sexual assault, that we all had to go through this, and we really didn't get anywhere. And I just think we have to do better. And the way that we do that is we get to the polls and we vote and do something about it, because the marches aren't going to get us anywhere.
It's an amazing stat, too. It's been a long, long time in our country's history since half the population showed up to vote in a midterm.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since we never get to 50%.
Yeah, which is just crazy to me.
Yeah,
we have to take responsibility, and I also think because I've had moments where you feel so jaded and you feel like what's the sense in voting,
right?
But we can't that you can't. You have to it's your civic duty. And otherwise, you don't get it. You don't have any rights to complain.
Right.
If you don't vote and take action, and you're not always going to win. But I do think it's important that you stand up and have your vote counted.
Great show as always. Great to see you. We'll be doing some more. Well, we're going to keep doing one show a week. Sometimes when you're on the road, sometimes when you're here. We do appreciate all of our listeners very much. Support our sponsors and keep listening. We appreciate it. Check out talknorth.com for other sports, and keep coming back here for the Cheryl Show.
You just want to provide the best service you can, and marketing is vital to build your business, but it's also overwhelming and confusing. Successful Marketing Group is passionately committed to businesses, helping them get found, get customers, and build dreams. Successful Marketing Group understands your problems and truly wants to help you be successful, providing digital marketing packages with proven results. Go to successfulmarketinggroup.com/Cheryl Reeve for a free 45-minute audit and action plan. That's successfulmarketinggroup.com/Cheryl Reeve.